The House will come to order. The pledge will be led by Alexis Lucero, Arupe Jesuit High School, Denver, Colorado.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kohler, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Becker J, Becker K, Brown, Buck, Buckner, Carver, Conti, Representative Conti.
Representative Conti excused.
Corum, Court, Danielson, Del Grosso, Dorr, Duran, Esgar, Everett, Representative Everett,
Representative Everett excused.
Fields, Foot, Garnett, Janal, Hamner,
Thank you.
Humphrey, Joshi, Kagan, Kaiser, Klingenschmidt, Kraft-Tharp, Landgraf, Lawrence, Lepsock, Lee, Lontine, Lundeen, McCann, Melton, Mitch Bush, Moreno, Navarro, Neville, Nordberg, Pabon, Pedersen, Primavera, Priola, Rankin, Ransom, Rosenthal, Rupe, Ryden, Sane, Salazar, Sias, Singer, Tate, Thurlow, Tyler, Van Winkle, Vigil, Willett, Williams, Wilson, Windholz, Winter, Young. Madam Speaker.
Here, Corey. With 63 present, 2 excused, quorum is present. Representative Lundeen. Please proceed, Representative.
Thank you, Madam
Lundeen.
Speaker. I move the reading of the Journal of Monday, March 11th, 2015 be dispensed with, and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Opposed, no. Good try, but the ayes have it. Announcements and introductions. Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speakers. I have some special guests in the House today. If they could take a stand.
Representative Winter, would you give me 2 seconds? I think we need to get a little bit of order. Could we have order, please? A little quiet. Thank you very much. Please proceed, Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have some special guests in the House today. If they could stand, it's the Westminster Girls High School basketball team. They won their Class 5A basketball championships, and they are a phenomenal group of women that are working hard, getting good grades, and fantastic athletes. If we could give them a round of applause.
Further, Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, you will see that you have a chart on your desks, nicely color-coded. This is about the legislative review of administrative agency rules. The Committee on Legal Services recently adopted a policy for requests to review an agency rule out of cycle. So if you have a concern about a rule that an agency adopted and you want to have us review it out of cycle, it's already been reviewed and extended in the prior rule review bill, or a very new rule that was recently adopted that hasn't been approved.
Representative McCann, would you allow me to interrupt you for a minute?
Sure. So we just wanted all the members to have access to the Colorado and Legal Services Committee policy. This outlines a procedure for asking the staff of the Office of Legislative Legal Services to review a rule when it is out of cycle, and how that will be handled in terms of confidentiality, how the legislator may seek to have the issue come before the Committee on Legal Services, or addressed in the rule review bill. If you have any questions about the policy, you can talk with me or with Representative Foote, who's also on the committee, or contact Debbie Haskins in the Office of Legislative Legal Services. So if you have a concern about an agency rule, normally the Committee on Legal Services reviews those rules, and they are presented to you at the end of the session in the rule review bill. But this is if you want one ruled out of cycle. You can do that. You just have to follow this procedure. Thank you.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Business Affairs and Labor, we will meet today at 1:30 on House Bill 15-1246. See you then.
Representative Bryden.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, this morning you're going to be getting a little blue sheet at your desk, and this is notifying you that registration is now open for the CSG West annual meeting in Vail, Colorado this summer. The theme is Balance Your Attitude with a Change in Altitude. And as you know, CSG West is one of the organizations that the legislature belongs to, brings together legislators from all throughout the West talking about the issues that are really important to us. And so I encourage all of you to go to the website, which is csgwest.org/annual meeting, and sign up. And we really look forward to seeing everyone there July 28th through the 31st in Vail, which I believe is in Representative Hamner's district. It is in Representative Mitch Bush's district. Vail. Yes. She welcomes us all this summer. Thank you.
Representative Court.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Okay, folks, I have two announcements. We're getting to the point where we're going to be having conference committees, and especially for you freshmen, if you don't know what that means and how that process is going to work, our wonderful Legislative Legal Services people, our OLLS staff, are going to be doing a presentation about what does concurrence mean, what's a conference committee, how does it all work. It's Tuesday, March 17th. From 8 to 9 down in HCR 112. Again, this is how concurrences work and conference committees work. So especially if you're a freshman, it's a real good idea to go to this. March 17th from 8 to 9. The other thing is for everyone, heads up. You're going to be hearing about this more next week. In about a week, your gate opener button is going to be confiscated, and you are going to get a fob, like for keyless entry cars, that will be opening the gates to the circle for you. I will give you more information next week, but that change is coming, so just know that it is coming, and we will be distributing the fobs and confiscating the thingamajiggies, the push button things, next week. And even if we don't confiscate it, it's not going to work after all the fobs get turned on. So be aware. Thank you.
Representative Young.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'm in a fog about fobs and thingamajiggies, but I do know that we're going to have appropriations committee meeting. House Appropriations is going to meet at 8:30 tomorrow morning in LSBA. Members, you have the list of the bills on the calendar, so we'll see you bright and early at 8:30.
Representative Singh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've spoken to the Majority Leader and Minority Leader and asked that I be excused on March Friday the 13th.
Representative Singh will be excused at the time requested. Further announcements or introductions? Seeing none, the next order of business is third reading, final passage of bills. Members, please take your seats. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 116.
Senate Bill 116 by Senator Stebbins, also Representative Garnett, concerning needle stick prevention.
Madam Majority Leader, give me a minute here. We're in third reading of bills. Members, please take your seats. Please proceed, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 116 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 116 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine with 62 ayes, 2 noes, and 1 excuse. Senate Bill 116 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 128.
Senate Bill 128 by Senator Carroll, also Representatives Landgraf and Primavera, concerning reports to law enforcement of medical facilities with consent of a victim of a sexual assault.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 128 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 128 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine with 64 ayes, no noes, and 1 excuse. Senate Bill 128 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Members, we're going to call a brief recess. We're waiting for a resolution to come from the Senate, and we'll come back to order when that happens. The House will come back to order. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has adopted and transmits herewith Senate Joint Resolution 11.
Introduction of resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution 11 by Senators Todd and Martinez-Humenek, also Representatives Primavera and Navarro, concerning the recognition of March as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of SJR 11.
The motion is for suspending the rules for immediate consideration of SJR 11. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Representative Primavera and Representative Navarro.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Senate Joint Resolution 15-011 and ask that it be read at length.
Whereas cancer of the colon is one of the most preventable forms of cancer, and whereas 9 out of 10 colon cancers could be prevented or successfully treated with regular colon cancer screening, and whereas about 1/3 of adults over the age of 50 are not being screened, and whereas consequently colorectal cancer is the leading cancer killer among non-smoking men and women in the United States, and whereas the risk of developing colorectal cancer increases with age, and whereas more than 90% of cases occur in people aged 50 or older, and whereas a person who has a close relative who has had colon polyps or colon cancer, or a person who has inflammatory bowel disease, a genetic syndrome such as familial adenomatous polyposis or hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer or colon polyps is at higher risk of developing colon cancer. And whereas because most people with colorectal cancer have no symptoms, it is important to be screened for colorectal cancer through endoscopic screening or high-sensitivity stool testing. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, hereby establish the month of March as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, the bad news is that colorectal cancer is this, and you can be seated, is the second leading cause of cancer death in both men and women. But the good news is that it's preventable by detecting polyps early and removing them which happens during a colonoscopy. But sadly, the number of people who do get screenings is dismal compared to the number of people who actually are being screened for breast cancer. It's considered, a lot of people consider colorectal cancer as an old person's disease, but you can actually develop polyps in your 30s, and especially if there's a family history of colorectal cancer. So the American Cancer Society recommends that screening begin at age 50 and then happen every 10 years. It's a very safe outpatient procedure. It's not fun, but it's safe. So today we would like to encourage you to make sure that your friends and family members and yourselves be screened for colorectal cancer, because this is a cancer that's deadly, but it is also preventable.
Representative Navarro.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, thank you for your time. We appreciate you and listening to this very important cause. Colon cancer affects men and women equally. On average, your risk is about 1 in 20. 50% of new cases occur in people 50 or older. People with the first degree relative, parent, sibling, or offspring have 2 to 3 times the risk of developing this disease. So remember, it is preventable. It is an important issue, and be sure to go see your doctors regularly. Thank you.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to say thank you to Representative Primavera and Navarro for bringing this resolution before us today. I had a brother who passed away from colon cancer, and he was only 54. But what I'll tell you is that when he had surgery and the doctors came out and told my mother, anyone over 40 and above in your family needs to go get a colonoscopy. And his had been there quite a while from what the doctors had told us, but again, it's about prevention. It's just as important as any other type of wellness screenings that you may get. And so therefore, I want to say thank you again. And members, this is very serious disease that can occur. You know, usually the symptoms don't come until it's too late, but I would highly recommend, particularly if you are a person of color, because the cancer rates in communities of color are even higher. And I know that my family and I, we don't wait 5 years. We go have ours every 3. And so I would highly recommend you have conversations with your family and your doctor for more awareness. But thank you again, Representatives Primavera and Navarro, for bringing this very important resolution.
Further discussion on SJR 11, Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'd just like to add on to what Representative Williams mentioned. The Colorado Colorectal Screening Program is a statewide program that partners healthcare providers with, to provide no-cost screening to people who are underserved. So if you have some constituents that need this kind of service, there are services available for this population.
Further discussion. Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of SJR 11. If there is no objection, we will take a voice vote. Seeing none, all those in favor of SJR 11, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. SJR is passed. SJR 11 is passed. Representative Navarro.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask that today's roll call be added as sponsors.
The motion is to have the current roll call be listed as co-sponsors. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. So ordered. Announcements and introductions. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, wanted to let you know of an event that's coming up. Matter of fact, it's on March the 12th, but the Pinnacle Assurance is celebrating 100 years, and they will be having an event to read a proclamation on protecting state charter workman's comp programs to ensure that workers injured on the job are being protected. And we'll have brief remarks from the governor, Ellen Gollenbach, Phil Kalin, and that's Thursday the 12th at 12:30 p.m. in the West Foyer, and cake will be served. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Finance, we're meeting upon adjournment. We'll make that at 10 o'clock this morning. LSBA, we're hearing 3 bills. House Bill 1142, Representative McCann's bill. Senate Bill 97 by Representative Landgraf, and then House Bill 1159, Representative Arndt. That's 10 o'clock this morning, LSBA.
Representative Tate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I'd like to welcome the 4th grade class from Cherry Creek Academy visiting the Capitol today and learning about the wonderful things we do today. So they're not here yet, they were late, but they'll be skulking around the marble halls here. Thank you.
Further announcements and introductions. Seeing none, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar until tomorrow, Friday, March 13th.
The motion is to lay over the balance of the calendar until tomorrow, March, whatever it is. Yeah, right, that one. Thank you. March 13th, Friday the 13th. We get to do 2 in a row. So seeing no objection, we will lay over the balance of the calendar until tomorrow. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today at 1 p.m.
The motion is to stand in recess until later today at 1 p.m. Seeing no objection, we are in recess until 1 p.m. this afternoon.